How are we doing? I had an amazing week. I have a book coming out. Put this date in your mind, December 31st. That's when I'm releasing it. And it's about my life and all my escapades and sexuality and all that kind of stuff and spirituality. And it's very daring. But I'm doing it, and it's called Where is My Red Dress? And it's coming out December 31st. And the reason I'm mentioning that, because what in this experience assists me in elevating my consciousness? This is the question I asked myself this week. What in this experience is assisting me in elevating my consciousness? I mean, I'm a really positive person, and I feel like I'm a person of integrity and all of that. So we graduated, well, we have already graduated, but we had our graduation ceremony from the Affiliated New Thought Network was the conference, but from the Emerson Institute of Theology, where we received our doctorate in consciousness studies degrees. So the graduation ceremony was on, when was it, Friday? Thursday. And we didn't go there in person, so we were able to attend in Zoom, which was great because we were not able to travel to Kansas City, but all our friends were there and our colleagues and stuff. So we were all on Zoom, and we were in the middle of the ceremony, and I was sitting there all dressed up like this. I actually had the same exact thing on. No, I didn't have my red dress and this. And we were sitting there on the Zoom, and then all of a sudden, we were cyber attacked. Has anybody ever been cyber attacked before? Okay, well, it was very awful. Whatever it was screaming obscenities and very pornographic, profane statements, and they seemed like they were targeted at me because they said my name out full, but then of course my name's on there. So finally, I would call it being blindsided because I wasn't expecting it, and it was crazy, and everybody was screaming, what's happening? Finally, they got the person or whatever it was out of the room, and then someone else came in the room and started hitting on me on a chat. So I was like, okay. Anyway, they got him out of the room, and then everything was fine, and it all went well. But I've never been raped or anything like that before, but that I felt very raw and very violated in that moment. And I am a very spiritual person, and I was taken back. And I had to deal with it. But because I'm practiced in spirituality, I get to choose. And that's what this month is about. I get to choose how I look at everything and what I'm going to take with me from that. I get to choose if I'm going to stay in that consciousness and feel sorry for myself and think about, oh, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? Why did that happen to me? Why did that happen? I could do that. Why is a very stupid question, because you're probably never going to find the answer to why. And when I'm doing spiritual counseling, I never ask people why, because sometimes you don't know why, but you do know how to respond when something happens like that. Because as I've said before from this very platform, it's not about what happens. It's responsibility is our response to what happens. Response, ability. Do we have the ability to respond? And what are we choosing from? So for myself, after I kind of calmed myself down, and even that night I had to keep treating, and I had to keep saying, I know who I am. And I never doubted who I was. I know who I am. I do. I know who I am. So, but in the middle of the night, something came up again, like fear, kind of a fear thing. And then I was like, you don't have anything to be afraid of. You know who you are. You're safe, you're guided, you're guarded, you're protected at all times. You know who you are. I know who I am. And I think any time we're in a situation like that, we can take a breath and stop and say, I know who I am. I know who I am. And just like the quote from Deepak Chopra's book, that which looks through your eyes is God. Look at anything and you will realize God. So if we really ground ourselves in that idea that as we're looking through our eyes, God is looking through our eyes, whatever you want to call it. You could call it God. If that word disturbs you, you could use another word, love. You could use source energy. You could use quantum field. You could use whatever you want. So what I got out of it was when you put yourself out into the world, when you show up as your true self, it doesn't mean that everybody is going to accept that. It doesn't mean that everybody's going to think you're all great and everything. It doesn't mean anything. If you're showing up as your true self, that's all you need to do, is show up as your truth. If everybody showed up as their truth, can you imagine, and that truth came from love, what kind of planet we would have? Oh my God. So what I got out of that whole thing is that it was just forcing me to raise my consciousness higher, to say, I can be better than this. I can remember who I am in even a greater way, and I can live my life from that place. I can choose to go down the rabbit hole, or I can choose to stand in my strength and remember who I am. And I feel like when things like this happen, that's what it's asking us to do. It's asking us, how much do you really believe? How much do you really believe what you say? Are you just saying words, or are you walking your talk? And I'm walking my talk, and I will always walk my talk. And I'm not saying nothing's going to happen, but everything that's happening, I have to believe is happening for me, through me, as me. It's not happening outside of me. I was in the Zoom room. I was the one whose name was called. So it's happening through me. And what am I going to do with it? Am I going to fall into the abyss, or am I going to raise myself up and say, I know who I am. I'm pure love. That's who I am. And that is what I continue to be. And I send compassion out to people who don't know who they are or know who they are, and that's their way of acting out. I mean, but we have to believe we're safe. We have to believe that. And I'm going to quote a political candidate because what she said really struck me, and it has nothing to do with her platform as Kamala Harris. Somebody was interviewing her, and she used to be a district attorney, a prosecuting attorney, a big one. And the guy asked her, he said, well, weren't you ever scared or afraid or any of that? And you know what she said? She said, I live my life. I refuse to be frightened. I refuse to live my life scared. And I think that that's what's being called up in us now. Forget about her, that we can't live our life being scared. We have to know who we are, live in love, and what transpires from that, we're up for it. It wouldn't be happening if we weren't up for it. It wouldn't be happening. So we have the opportunity to be great, to be amazing, to be everything that we can be. And I think that this time in history is calling for us to do that, to be great, to look up to people that are great. I want to be with people that are either greater than I am or on the same level. I want to be inspired. I want to inspire. I want to do amazing things, which is the song we're going to sing. I love this song. And Barbara asked me to sing it today, and so I'm singing it. All right, and you can even sing with me if you know it.